evening, I'm London Jen and this is Battle Rap World. I'd like to apologise for the absence of shows recently, but I run a business in my spare time and it's been a little crazy recently where lockdown restrictions are easing sort of globally, and I've had some real life stuff going on as well. But we are this week getting into the Ultimate Madness tournaments. We had the semi-final matchups this weekend between Jay the Nightwing and Ru Bando and Ace Amin and Fonz. We also had the Twork and Swamp battle go down this weekend. So let's get right into it. I was surprised that they didn't get right into it with the Swerp and Swamp, Swerp and Swamp. Twerk and Swamp battle. I thought we would have got that one first, but I guess it was obvious as to why that didn't come first. So we started off with Jay the Nightwing and Ru Bando. Jay comes out hard, towering over him, and basically telling Ru Bando that he's there to make up the numbers. This sort of typical slow-paced style. He's got some nice bars in there. The OK anime mechanic cartoon. Then he had the, the homeless look, finna get 8, and he gets in on Ru Bando's side and he says that, he looks like his mum's just dropped him off. It was a solid first round. So Ru comes out first round with some Moana bars that didn't really hit. Then he has a bit of a stumble. I like the Wing for Nothing ostrich bar, that was cool, and the pocket dial hit him by mistake. And then he kind of seemed like he ran out of steam into the end of the first. He just sort of lacked energy and didn't really believe in what he was saying for the rest of the round. And then Jay started up his second, sort of clowning him, saying he's a poor man's hitman, he's not really believable. And he had the 2 Kylie Jenner see-through transparent bars, that was cool. Go Avocado, wrote for Ru in a day. And he kind of got aggressive, batted him up a little bit, little showing of his strength there. Then he goes into this parenting scheme and just starts bombing on him. He has the Marvin Gaye, LeMay's class, trouble breathing. The deadbeat dad bars, you'll have to remind me that I sung you. It was cool, but it was a beatable round. And then Ru Bando comes out fighting back in the second. He's got this long setup taking shots at Jay's girl, and then he's got the stabbed her over the head scorpion line. I like that. I thought it was a bit long for the payoff, but it was a cool bar. Then he's kind of clowning on his own size. He has that put a gun down and I'll shoot you with the other one line. That was cool. I like that. He had the wing on bucket list, shoot up the tournament, erupt above the rim, Facebook, end your life with a phone call. He really fought back in this round, and I gave the second to him. I thought he took it to Jay and he stole that round. Then Jay opens a third, sort of touching him back on the, you're just making up the numbers here. He says you haven't got a place in Rookies versus Vets. He says even if he chokes, he'll still get through to the finals. They don't want, they'll do anything to keep Ru out of 9-10. Calls him out for just a bunch of name flips. He dropped that 2020 real sick chaos, still take that over you bar in there. That was dope. I like that line. It was the first of the jazz bars in there. He said, I want to call Jazz to see if your mother's looking for you. That was dope. And ultimately he questioned how much does he want the 25,000. But this round in itself was light from Jay. It was kind of an ironic round. He's saying, I don't need to do anything to beat you, and he really didn't do anything that wasn't unbeatable in that third round. So going into the third, it really looked like Ru Bando could steal a place in the final at Nome. And so he opens up with these chest bars that are hitting, and it looks like he might well go on and do this. So 30 seconds in, we get a big choke. He manages eventually to pick it up again. He starts up again, although by this point we know it's too late, and then he eventually jerseys out. He chokes and he jerseys out anyway. He knows he's lost. He's sort of 2-1 Jay's won. And it's a real shame because although he stumbled in the first and Jay had a stronger round, Rue definitely took the second. He had harder punches and he had more of them. In the third, Jay obviously chose to take it light, and he said in the post fight interview that he only really wanted to do two rounds, or he wanted 2 strong rounds. He wasn't comfortable with having 3 strong rounds and risking a choke. And I guess it pays off for him, but it was a lucky move, because if Rue had came with a strong solid third, if he had got through that third clean, he could well have taken that, and it would be Rue versus Fons in the final on 9. So all 4 judges gave that convincingly to Jay the Nightwing. There was no doubt, and the fans overwhelmingly gave it to Jay also. And then we had the trailer play for 9-10. I always get goosebumps at those trailers. The cinematic music, the Beasley voice, like Ruin Your Day do such a great job on them. I really appreciate those trailers. And then we went back to D.I. the Hennyman and Jay Black, our beleaguered hosts, who had to do their sort of first stall for the night and flipped to the judges and started talking Ultimate Madness. And you could see, I'm sure everyone at home is starting to scratch their heads and wonder what's the delay. And in the comments as well, you could see people starting to get restless and wonder, where are Twork and Swamp? Where's the next battle? 10 minutes in, the URL announced that Twork is in the building, and the judges and the hosts start talking about the Twork and Swamp battle, and they have to do that for about another 15 minutes. And then finally, I think after about half an hour, Twork and Swamp take to the stage. And Twork comes on looking a bit shifty, and there's this crowd that has just come out of nowhere. There was no crowd for the previous battle or for any of it, but now, we could hear them, but obviously now we can see them all. It's as though they're sort of surrounding the battle, where they were just sort of backstage before. So we've got more of an audience now. So Swamp comes out in the first, a lot to prove, and he comes out hard, fast, punching heavy. I really like the we don't like sudden movements. Your hands are too shaky. But I got the great word "kuntnu." He told Twork he's not used to getting any kuntnu, and I think 1,000 memes and comments were born. He had the "damned if I let the bullets go" on a temple run. He flipped the Twork catchphrase, "coma, I could come back at any moment." I thought that was dope. The shotgun buckshot spray, like the Wi-Fi symbol. I really enjoyed that first round. He came out with something to prove, and I think he did that. So Twork starts off his first with bars that he's literally written at some point overnight, because he's talking about the face-off. I guess that was a bad omen to start off with. And he says he's calling him out to show him that he's not dangerous. He has the Call of Duty lobby, find someone to play with, emo, know not to hit a nerve bars, and he seems to be heating up. His performance is quite aggressive. It's a sort of typical bouncy Twork. He gets a really big reaction for his Scully halfway down, no more closed doors bar. And then only 2 minutes in, we got a choke, and he jerseyed out of there. He might not have had much more to spit, I don't know, but if he didn't, it was a very short round, because it was literally 2 minutes in. So you would like to think there was more, a lot more there in that first, but maybe there wasn't. You can call it debatable. I'm giving that to Swamp. Twork had a short, beatable first round. Swamp got that. Swamp starts off really confidently, no doubt encouraged by the Twork jerseying out of the first round. He's got the how many times have I lost to Pen and Lead, Puss in Boots bars. Then he comes with the Goonies, calling them out sort of one by one, and says they all left after the Twork out at the Av battle that was supposed to happen that didn't at Royalty. He has after this round, the Bounce Will Never Be the Same Again. That got a really big crowd reaction. He has the Sig Sawyer come outside the Sig Sawyer bars. Was that in this round? I think it was. And Twork starts to look really uneasy. You can see he's not comfortable. You bang the 5, I bang and plead the 5th. He's got the crowd hyped, and going into Twork's second, he starts out looking nervous. He's actually got his fingers in his mouth and he's biting his nail, talking, opening his second round. Comes out and he's got, his standard Twork performance. He's got this, dope bit where he's stabbing him up the middle. Took a lot of guts to stand here. That was cool. The crowd loved the Look Up Marlon, Say Cheese line, which I had to look up, given that I never watched the Wayans Brothers series growing up. Sorry about that. Then he had the ironic fake choke, I can't get through my material bar, which the crowd really reacted to. I thought it was actually a little distasteful, considering you jerseyed out of the first and what was to come, considering you were completely unprepared. It was a bit distasteful to be doing fake chokes, can't get through my material, when you literally can't get through your material. But they liked it, so what can you say? He had the couple spaces over indent. I thought that was kind of light. And he had the, Sean Marion ugly ass shot. Again, I had to go to my Googles. Not a basketball scholar, and certainly not from back then. But having known the context, yeah, I thought that was dope. That was cool. I liked that one. But then that was it. Exactly 3 minutes of the round, he jerseyed out again. Maybe he had more, maybe he didn't. But I thought it was quite a short round. I gave that one again to Swamp. I didn't like Twork's fake choke in there. Again, he jerseyed out. It was only 3 minutes. Even if there wasn't much more to come, he didn't get through with all his material. And, you've got a line in there in your fake choke that you can't get through all your material. And you jerseyed out the first, jerseyed out the second. Onwards to the third. Swamp comes out with a couple of shots for Tay-Rock, telling Twork that, he is here because he's real, and Twork's just here for entertainment. He's got the Twork winning on the poles bar. I thought that was dope. I like that. And then he calls him out for the recycling, the no-shows, the stealing deposits, the shenanigans at Royalty Day 2. He finishes up the round. I thought it was a little light. Definitely a beatable round. I've already given Swamp the first 2 anyway, so for me, Twork can't get it. But it's definitely, if you've got it at 1-1, Twork can take it in this third. Twork goes into the third, not looking again very comfortable. He opens half-heartedly, and then within about 25 seconds, we've got a choke, and it's a bad one. He spends the next minute and a half pacing around Swamp. There's a roar in there. He even goes to his phone at one point, trying to, recall back his bars. I don't know what was written in there, but he obviously didn't remember much from them. Swamp at one point actually looks really bad for him. He looks like he's really feeling for him. Twork says that he's really mad at himself as he's pulling out his phone. Tries to pull it back, you know, repeats his line sort of several times, trying to get it together, but he can't, and Nu Jersey's out. End of the battle. Smack runs out, and we go to another trailer. They put up the fan vote, and they give it overwhelmingly to Swamp. I think Twork picks up at less than 150 votes in the first sort of minute of the fan vote. For me, Swamp won that. It was clear. I gave him all 3 rounds, but even Twork himself had said that Swamp had took the first round. He said, I would have 30'd you if I didn't Jersey out of there. So he must have thought that Swamp took the first. Couldn't have given himself the third, so he must have at least given 2 rounds to Swamp. So even Twork himself would have thought that Swamp took that. But yeah, I mean, I think his 3rd round was light, and if you know, he would need to come with more than that for Twork or for T-Top, which is about, it seems like the fans really want the T-Top battle. So hopefully we get that, but I think that would have been a nice warm-up for Swamp, to really sort of, you know, see what he needs to come with. And I think he definitely needs a stronger 3rd round. You can't expect to be able to win with just 2. And I think whether he gets T-Top or Twork next, both of them are going to want to bury him. They're going to want to make it not debatable. They're going to want clear wins. So yeah, but great performance from Swamp. He did what he came there to do, and I think it was, you know, really disappointing from Twork. This is, you know, the 3rd time the battle's supposed to have gone down. He no-showed the face-off last week. He no-showed the battle itself. He got an extra week and just wasn't prepared. And it's, you know, on not on the URL platform, it's on the Caffeine platform. This is a partnership, a collaboration that is, you know, being done to really push battle rap to another level. This is bigger than just a Twork battle. This is bigger than just, you know, a battle against Swamp. This is an unprofessional performance on somebody else's platform, and it's the 2nd time that Twork, who really should be spearheading the, you know, the Caffeine URL partnership, given, you know, his place in Drake's sort of, you know, best battle rapper list. He really should be at the forefront of that, and he's gone on the platform twice and kind of just shown his ass. And for me, Twork is, you know, top 3 for me, and I'm really disappointed by his recent performances and by this one. I think he let himself down, and he's let the fans down. I sound like his mother now. You've let Smack down. You let the URL down. But yeah, I really hope that Twork gets the opportunity to learn from this, and, you know, to not just slide straight into the next plate, the next card. He needs to realize that you can't just keep coming unprepared or with, you know, reusing material. And it's yeah, he's got to be more professional if he's to be, you know, such a big name at the forefront of the URL, my opinion. Then we go to another trailer. We go to another fan vote. The hosts go back and forth over who Swamp might have next, Twork or T-Top. They talk about Gnome some more. And then the fans start to get restless for the Ace and Fonz battle. We're back in stalling mode. Jay Black basically tells us to put 2 and 2 together. So we are to understand that the battlers, the battle, one of them, whatever, they're not ready. So more stalling. And then about half an hour after the last battle finished, the URL tell us it's time, and we go into the trailer for Ace versus Fonz. Ace comes out and his opening bars are, well, they're not really bars. He just sort of shouts out to the crowd, says he's a bitch and a whore, talking to John the Don. Seems like it. And he comes out punching in this verse, really taking it to Fonz. He's got the hands over the side like you're motherfucking. He's got the Av Little Brother Boulevard bar that hit quite hard. The refuse to evolve default bar, I like that. And then he stumbles. We got the first sort of stumbles of the night there in the first round. One-dimensional parallel universe bar that he's got after that really doesn't hit the way that he probably should have, because it's just come after his first stumble and everyone's sort of like, oh, here we go again. And we get more punches. You've got the mothers should have raised them better, the verse tracker, versatility. He's got the sucker punch line and aggressive sort of double bump into Fonz, which Fonz just sort of takes on the chin. And he finishes up with doesn't know how to punch when it matters. So a punch heavy first round. Stumbles in there, so not a clean performance, but the content was definitely there in that first round. Fonz starts off a little light for me. The Amina Buttonfly bar didn't really hit for me. Then he starts warming up the Landlord 30-day notice. I like that. And Fonz really turns it up now, delivering with his bars. He's got the how waste the test, never gave 100%. Stumbling through his bars, AA meeting, those punches hit really hard. Ace then sort of tries to throw him off. He's shaking his head through the bars. He's holding up like 1-0 to the crowd. And then Fonz finishes up his first with the second jazz bar of the night. Better have jazz on speed dial. First round, whilst you could say it was debatable, I gave it clearly to Fonz because he got through it. He got through it clean. I think Ace, like I said, the material was there, but the delivery just wasn't on point, and Fonz's was. Gave it the edge for me. Ace going into the second, he takes a minute to start the round, and then when he does, he doesn't look very comfortable. He's got this really slow delivery, which looks like it's hiding some stumbles. Doesn't really warm up until he's got that gonna need a medium to talk to you bar. And he sort of starts, he looks a little more comfortable, gets into his stride. And then he chokes, gets it back again, stumbles, chokes again. To stop my time, I'm going to get through this. Starts again. And then he does this really weird thing where he grabs onto Fonz, gets in his face and sort of barking, but really up in his face. I don't get why he grabbed him, but he did. Then he carries on stumbling for another bar or so. Calls John the Don a whore again, twice, or whoever. I don't know if it's John. Calls out you're a whore to the crowd again twice, and then calls time. That was the second round. Fonz then opens up with a rebuttal saying that Ace was scared when John the Don actually did pull up. Got the sloppy bookshelf, fuck the volume up line. I thought that was a little light. I like the snake swamp bayou line. I thought that was cool. Ace starts to look agitated on the stage. Fonz has the beat your ass blackout, knock your June teeth out. Thought that was cool. I like that. The crowd reacted to that. I really like the arthritis, bad news, problems, moving hands bar. I thought that was cool. It was a bit ironic, actually, again, more irony, because after that, they really started moving hands. They did this funny locking hands together thing, which kicked off the sort of scuffle. They then started pushing J Black and Henny, or J Black and Twork actually had to come in and get involved. And Beasley had to come in, sort of, separate Ace out of the way, and then Smack. You could just hear Smack in the background. I don't know where he was, but battle's over. And it cut to blank screen. But after a couple of minutes, the battle carried on. Fonz came back with the $150 pay Loso back. He had the Marilyn Manson coming back with Pale Faces. I thought that was dope. That round, I think it's clear. Fonz obviously took that round. Ace couldn't get through his second and called time. You've got to give that one to Fonz, and so I've got it 2 up going into the third. Ace comes out in the third, again not looking very confident or very comfortable with his bars. He's got the carbon copy that. That line was kind of cool. He's coming at him for biting Av's style, saying he's using a style that isn't his. He's got the outfits don't match champion line. I thought that was all right. Collar, Fonzie, Happy Days. That was cool. And then he starts stumbling again after a few lines. Does a few more. Then he's got this really dope line which didn't hit as hard nearly as it could. And even though it came out really clear with the tongue twister, leave you in the field, Peter Piper. I thought that was really cool. The hollow tips, evacuate, find an exit. I thought that was cool. And then more stumbles we go back to. Nothing at all is coming out clean. He finished the round with some light punches, which the crowd really responded to. I guess, I don't know, they responded to it. And then Fonz comes out in the third. He's got a prison scheme, which is cool. But then he stumbles on this Akon and 6ix9ine bar. Takes him a while to get it. He's got a really cool knockoff Lux, Trust Fund Kid, fully loaded bar that's really cool. And then he starts to stumble again. I like this. He's got the, I'm in your girl's house playing 2K, no drawers on the couch, both hands on the stick, analog in her mouth. Dope. I like that. And it's funny here, Ace actually for the first time in the battle, he starts to look comfortable. I guess his performance is over and he can just, I don't know if he's just enjoying the moment, but he's sort of laughing along with Fonz's bars. But it's the first time in the battle that he actually looks like he wants to be there, or he's ready to be there. And yeah, he's got the garden gnome pointing at your head. I thought that was cool. And then he finishes off the round with a bump, big sort of checks Ace, and Ace just falls back laughing, and then they hug it out, all smiles for the end of all smiles for the end of the battle. Judges had it 3-1 to Fonz. Everyone other than Rita went for Fonz. She picked Ace, saying that she judged it only on the first round, really, because the second and third were so full of chokes and stumbles that they cancelled each other out. I don't really agree with that, but I kind of did the same for the third. However, I would have given the third, if I had to pick up, I gave all 3 rounds to Fonz. I thought, yeah, he did stumble through that third round, but I liked his material. I thought his third was stronger than Ace's. And it ended, Smack almost looked like he sort of had to be dragged onto this stage, and he actually apologised for the I can't remember the words he used, but basically said, we don't condone, I don't know, it seemed to me like he was more talking about the chokes and the aggression. There was no fighting, there's been far worse on a URL stage, but the chokes, the performances, 2 out of 3 were embarrassing. It's a semi-final weekend. You've got Twork, Premier Battler, he and Ace both stumbling and choking their way through their rounds. It's really unprofessional, and I think that's actually what he was sort of apologising for. He just looked really embarrassed to have to stand there after that, to be honest. And I don't blame him. It was embarrassing. I think, but also, this is not as though this is not a new thing. This is not a new, they put Ace into the competition knowing that he has had form for this, knowing that he's had trouble choking, stumbling, breathing problems, whatever it is, getting through his rounds, finishing his material. Exactly the same with Twork, and then a lot more added on. We know the problems with Twork. They know that the battle was cancelled, previously. This is the problems last week, and they still chose to put it on. So it's not as though this was unexpected. So I think they also have to bear responsibility in how it turned out. I think the battlers, have some personal responsibility in it, in that, they have a responsibility to be ready and prepared as much as they can when they go on that stage. And these are sort of repeat performances. I think there's a distinction between Ace and Twork. I'm just sort of speculating. I have no idea. Twork, we know, doesn't prepare until late, out of his own mouth. I think with Ace, I think it's different. I don't think it's necessarily that he's not prepared, he doesn't know his rounds. It's a delivery issue. I think it's that he's got there's something that he needs to fix in either in the way that he spits, where he's so rapid fire and he's sort of predicting what he's got coming next and how he's going to say that. And then you've got the sort of anxiety of, am I going to choke here? And he does that sort of, thing. That sounded really odd. Sorry, he doesn't sound like that. I sound weird. But he does that funny thing. And yeah, I think it's more a mind game that he's got to win, to work on his delivery. Whereas Twork, I think he just needs to be more prepared. And I think that was supposed to be one of the reasons why he went over to NWX, because they would hold him accountable. They would check up on him, and they would, be making sure that he's doing what he needs to do when he needs to do it. But it clearly hasn't made an impact yet, at least. But I would hope that I hope we don't see Twork again for a minute on a big card, because I think he doesn't deserve it at the moment. And there are so many battlers who would love to be in his place, who would love to have got, that Ultimate Madness semi-final battle where you've got caffeine, you're on free, everyone's deprived of live battles right now. This is the closest thing we've got to a normal URL card in months. So, another battler would have really taken that opportunity and made the most of it. And we need to be giving those battlers these plates, in my opinion. And that wraps up the show for this week. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like down below. If you're not already subscribe to the channel. Think about sharing it on your timelines, and join me for the next show. I'm hoping there'll be another one next week. I can't guarantee it. I will work my hardest to make sure that there is, and if there is, I would love for you to join me there for Battle Rap World.